Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all on the platform of Shri Jayendra Rank Zone classes. In the previous lecture, we have completed till phylum Nematyeleminthes or phylum Nematoda, means the roundworms. Now we are going to talk about the true coelomates, the schizocoelomates, means the annelids. And before starting with the phylum Annelida, we are going to basically enjoy our neat time. This is not tea time, this is neat time. Okay, my dear friends. So we will be starting by doing some mental exercise, by doing some questions. Okay. The very first question is that incomplete digestive tract, that is blind sac body plan. Okay, blind sac body plan, as I told you, there are three types of body plans: cell aggregate body plan, blind sac body plan, and tube within tube body plan. Okay, so blind sac body plan is basically found in which phylum? Phylum Annelida, it is having tube within tube plan. Orthopoda, tube within tube plan. Mollusk, tube within tube plan. Then Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, the phylum Platyhelminthes, they share blind sac body plan. Okay, means Platyhelminthes, they don't have true coelom, and that is why they have blind sac body plan. Okay, is it understood? Now coming to the second question, radial symmetry is shown by, among these options which are given, which one shows radial symmetry? Okay, coelentrates, Cnidarians, they are radially symmetrical. Platyhelminthes, no, they are bilaterally symmetrical. Adult echinoderms, okay, yeah, adult echinodermatas, they also show radial symmetry. Okay, the adult echinoderms, they also show radial symmetry. It means the option is D, both A and C. Is that understood? Okay. Now moving to the third question, the first diploblastic animal is phylum Coelentrata, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida. The first diploblastic, Annelida triploblastic, Platyhelminthes triptoblastic, Aschelminthes triploblastic. So we are left over with coelentrate only. So coelentrates, they were the first diploblast, actual diploblast, because in case of sponges, it was cell aggregate plan. Okay, so they are supposed to be the first diploblastic, first pure diploblastic organisms. Okay, understood? Now coming to next, the first triploblastic animal. The first triploblastic animal, that is having body made up of three germ layers: ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. Okay, coelentrates, they are diploblastic. In the previous question we answered. Platyhelminthes, after that Aschelminthes come, after that Annelida. Annelida triploblastic without any question mark. Aschelminthes, they are also triploblastic. Okay, but Aschelminthes, they are pseudocoelomates. Okay, as they don't have any coelomic cavity. The mesoderm, it fills the space. Platyhelminthes, yeah, the Platyhelminthes, they were the first triploblastic organisms, right? Understood? Okay. Then Aschelminthes are eucoelomate? No, they are pseudocoelomate. Yes, they have coelom, but it is false coelom. Okay, because the coelom is obliterated by mesoderm. Okay, understood? Radial symmetry is shown by, oh, this question, metameric segmentation is found in, obviously, Annelida. Orthopoda, they don't have metameric segmentation, they have only the fused segmentation. Both A and B, no. Platyhelminthes, no. Platyhelminthes, they have pseudo metamerism, right? So annelids, they are the right option. Okay, Now coming to next, we are having Radial symmetry is shown by ctenophores. Ctenophores, they are biradial, means both bilateral and radial symmetry is there. Coelentrates, they are radial. Adult echinoderms, they are radial, means the answer is all of these. The most probable answer is all of these, right? Okay. Undifferentiated layer present between the ectoderm and endoderm in Coelentrata is known as mesophyll. No, mesophylls are the cells which are found in plants, leaves. Gastral layer, no. Archenteron, no, archenteron is not developed. Mesoglia, the right option is mesoglia. Then what is the correct flow of water current found in sponges? In sponges, the water enters through ostia, it goes into spongocoel, and then it comes out through osculum. Okay, so it enters through ostia, then it comes in the spongocoel, and then it comes out through the osculum. Rest other options are incorrect. Which one of the following living organisms is completely lacking a cell wall? Cyanobacteria, they have cell wall. Saccharomyces, fungi, they are also having cell wall. Blue-green algae, cyanobacteria only, it is also having cell wall. Means sea fan, Gorgonia, sea fan is a cnidarian. Okay, it is not having any cell wall. Is that understood? Okay, so our need time is completed. We are feeling fresh. We are having a mental exercise. Now we are moving to the topic. The topic is phylum Annelida. The great Lamarck, he basically proposed the term annelids. Okay, around we have 17,000 species under this category. Okay, now coming to next, the general characteristics. What are the general characteristics of phylum Annelida? Annelids, they can be found in fresh water, in sea water, and moist soil. When they are actually basically available almost in all the habitats, right? They can be free living and they can be parasitic as well. In parasites, you can write down the ectoparasite. Example, leech, blood sucking. Okay. Metameric segmentation is the most important or the characteristic feature of phylum Annelida, when body is divided into segments, both externally and internally. External segments are known as what? Annuli. These are the ring-like grooves, okay, known as annuli. And internally the segment is completed by having a septa, okay. So in case of annelids, the body is divided through true segmentation, outside as well as inside. The outer segments are known as what? Annuli, the ring, and the internal body is divided by septa, okay. Each segment, each individual segment, the building block is known as what? Metameres, okay. Building block, right? I hope you got it. Now coming to next, the first segment is known as what? Peristomium, and the outgrowth of peristomium is known as what? Prostomium, right? The first segment is known as what? Peristomium, analog of mouth, and the outgrowth is known as what? Prostomium. Okay. They have chitinous or chitinous setae, means setae, they can act as a, they are hair-like projections which actually help in the locomotion. So these setae, they are made up of chitin, okay. They are present in almost all the we can say the classes, but there are different classes with different locomotory organs. I'll explain. Except leech. Leech, it is not having any setae. Leech is not having any setae. Nereis, it is having parapodia, unjointed parapodia. Unjointed means they are not jointed. Unjointed parapodia, it also helps in the locomotion. Okay. Parapodia means these are the projections which are parallel to the axis of the body. Okay. So these locomotory structures are known as what? Parapodia. Okay. Leeches, they don't have setae, other they are having setae as a locomotory organ. Annelids, they are bilateral symmetrical. Bilateral symmetrical. All the members are bilateral symmetrical. Okay. Now coming to next, they have organ system level of organization. They have organ system level of organization. Level of organization. Understood? Okay. Now, body cavity is true and it is schizocoelomic body cavity. In schizocoelomic body cavity, basically the mesodermal pouches, they get splitted and they get distributed, okay, all over the coelom. So this type of coelom is known as what? Schizocoelom. Okay. The other one is enterocoelom, in which the gut pouches, they basically fill up the coelom. Okay. So body cavity is true and they come under the schizocoelomic group, right? Schizocoelomic group. Coelom is divided into compartments by septae. The coelom is divided into different compartments by the help of septae. Septae are the inner wall and filled with coelomic fluid, and it is filled with coelomic fluid. Okay. So they are schizocoelomic. The coelom is divided into compartments by the help of septae and it is filled with coelomic fluid. Presence of hydroskeleton, as in case of Platyhelminthes, as in case of Eschelminthes, we have studied presence of hydroskeleton, means the coelomic fluid, it helps to provide a proper shape to the body. Digestive tract is complete, means they have tube within a tube plan. Tube within a tube plan. Almost all the cylindrical organisms which actually shares the tube within a tube plan, they are bilateral symmetrical. They are bilateral symmetrical. Okay. Understood? Now coming to next, they have closed circulatory system, mean blood basically travels through the blood vessels, arteries and veins. Okay. The respiration is done by general body surface, that is diffusion. This type of respiration is known as what? Cutaneous respiration. In case of trabella, it is through gills. It is through gills. Okay. Branchial respiration. With this exception, you have to remember that almost all the members, they mostly have their respiration through the general body surface, that is cutaneous respiration, and trabella is the exception, which have the branchial respiration, that is through gills. Okay. Understood? Now coming to next, they have closed circulatory system, means body basically is having the arteries and veins through which the blood travels. They have hemoglobin as the respiratory pigment, but this hemoglobin is dissolved in plasma. It is not present in the red blood corpuscles, so because there is no as such red blood corpuscles present. Okay. So the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin, also known as erythrocurin. Erythrocurin. It is dissolved in plasma, and they have free amoeboid blood cells, but they are not RBCs. They are not RBCs, right? So they don't have RBCs. They have free amoeboid blood corpuscles, and they have a respiratory pigment which is known as what? Hemoglobin or erythrocurin. In leeches, true blood vascular system is absent. In leeches, they have a body cavity which is known as what? Hemocoel, and they don't have any true blood vascular system, as we can see in the general members of the phylum Annelida. So in leeches they have actually a hemocoelomic system which is filled with hemocoelomic fluid. Okay, I'll will talk in the coming PPTs. Okay, the coelomic space and fluid is modified to form. Okay, the question is, in leeches the true blood vascular system is absent. The coelomic space and fluid is modified to form hemocoelom. Hemocoelom. Okay, or we can say hemocoelom is present in leeches. Okay, so in case of leeches, the true blood vascular system or the coelomic cavity is modified to form, okay, the circulatory system, that is the hemocoelom, which is present in the leeches, right? Okay, so if the question comes that the coelomic space and fluid is modified to form the circulatory system in leeches, this circulatory system or this coelom is known as what? Hemocoel, and the fluid is known as what? Hemocoelomic fluid. Okay, are the excretory organs in Annelida? Nephridia. Nephridia, they are the excretory organs in Annelida. So we cover the question from AIPMT 2008, NEET 2017, that nephridia, they are the excretory organs in Annelida, and ammonia is the chief excretory waste. Ammonia is considered to be the chief excretory waste. Okay, nephridia, it helps as an excretory organ as well as in osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means it helps to maintain the osmotic pressure. It also helps to maintain the amount of salts, water, everything. Okay, amounts of electrolytes. Okay, so the catch or the takeaway from this PPT is, first, they are present everywhere almost. Metameric segmentation, external segmentation is annuli, ring-like grooves, and internal is septate. Okay, each segment is known as what? Metameres. The first segment is peristomium, and the projections outward is known as what? Prostomium. They have for locomotion either parapodia or they have setae, which is made up of chitin. Okay, chitinase, a kind of complex sugar. Okay, except leeches. Leeches, they don't have setae. Okay, body cavity is true, tube within tube body plan, and this body cavity or the coelom is schizocoelomic type. It is divided into compartments by septa, and this coelom is filled with fluid which is known as what? Coelomic fluid. This coelomic fluid helps to provide a proper body shape, that is, it acts as a skeletal structure, and this skeletal structure is known as what? Hydroskeleton. Digestive tract is complete, tube within tube body plan. They have organ system level of organization, and they have bilateral symmetry. They have bilateral symmetry, right? Respiration is through the general body surface, that is through diffusion. Cutaneous respiration, it is known as what? Cutaneous respiration. But in case of trabella, it is branchial respiration, that is through gills. The circulatory system is closed. They have blood vessels for the circulatory system. The pigment which travels in this blood vessels is known as what? Hemoglobin or erythrocurerin, which is dissolved in plasma, not in RBC. Okay, they have free amoeboid blood corpuscles instead of RBC. In leeches, true blood vascular system is absent. The coelomic space and the fluid is modified to form the circulatory system, which is known as what? Hemocoelom. Hemocoelom. Okay, so the hemocoelom is actually it will come here, hemocoelom, and circulatory system comes here. Okay, circulatory system, right? Then nephridia, they are the excretory organs in Annelida, and the common excretory waste is ammonia. Okay, now coming to the next, I hope everything is understood. This is the structure of body wall of earthworm. Details of earthworm will be studied in the chapter structural organization of animals. Now what you have to remember, that they have pharynx, they have mouth, this is the most important thing. Cerebral ganglia means they have nervous system which is actually dominantly developed more than the other members, the previous members. These means the plateal mentis and the ischial mentis. Along with this ganglia, they have nerve cord. Okay, they have crop, gizzard. Everything will be explained when we study about the structure of earthworm. Every details will be studied. You can see the rings. These rings are known as what? Annuli. And here you can see some segments they get fused to form clitellum. The clitellum is actually helps in the reproduction during breeding season, right? Now you can see they have nerves, they have coelom as well. This is the space which is coelom. Okay, they have ventral blood vessel, they have dorsal blood vessel running both the dorsal means and the ventral side. Now the type of nephridia means type of excretory system which is present is metanephridia. It is metanephridia. Actually nephridia is of two types, protonephridia and metanephridia. Nephridia is of two types, protonephridia and metanephridia, right? Okay, along with this they have muscles, both longitudinal and circular muscles. Okay, the longitudinal muscles are these longitudinal muscles, and these are the circular muscles. Okay, but in case of roundworms they have only longitudinal muscle fibers, they don't have the circular muscle fibers. Okay, so these are some advancements which can be seen in earthworm or which can be seen in annelidans. Okay, so nervous system, it is having a nerve ring. Okay, a complete nerve ring and a solid double mid-ventral nerve cord. You can see this is the mid-ventral nerve cord, this is the mid-ventral nerve cord, and they have a nerve ring which is basically covering the whole of the internal side as a cross section, and they have a mid-ventral nerve cord with ganglia. Okay, cerebral ganglia or the frontal ganglia. Okay, this is the cerebral ganglia. Understood? Other than this, there are different types of receptors which are present in annelidans. That is the tactile receptors which are sensitive to touch, tactile receptors which are sensitive to touch. Then they have photoreceptors, means sensitive to light, sensitive to light. Then they have the statocyst. They may have statocyst, although statocyst is basically a version, a primitive version which is present in sponges, cnidarians. Okay, for balancing, Understood? So they have tactile receptors for touch, they have photoreceptors for light, sensitive to light, and they may have statocyst for balancing, okay, of the body. Now coming to next slide, already explained nervous system. Yeah, this is the gustatoreceptors. Gustatoreceptors means towards taste, because gustation means a sensation towards taste. Okay. Now sexes, they can be separate, means unisexual, means they can show sexual dimorphism. Example, Nereis is unisexual, and bisexual, hermaphrodite. Also known as monoecious. in case of earthworm and leech. Okay, so sexes can be separate or they can be bisexual. If they are separate, unisexual means dioecious, they can show sexual dimorphism. In case of Nereis and earthworm and leech, they are bisexual. Earthworm and leech, they are bisexual. Most of them they show direct development. If in case of Nereis, they show indirect development. In case of Nereis, they show indirect development, and the larva which is involved is the trochophore larva. This is the larva in case of indirect development, the trochophore larva. Okay, is it understood? They have both longitudinal and circular muscles in the body wall along with the wall of alimentary canal. Okay, means we can say the alimentary canal is basically covered by the circular layer as well as the longitudinal layer. The circular layer and the longitudinal layer at an angle of 90 degrees. Right? So they have both longitudinal and circular muscles. These are some common annelidans. I have just posted a picture. Hyoidaneria, which is the leech, it is having sucker both at the anterior end at the posterior end. Okay, then this is the earthworm in dorsal view. You can see the periosteum and the outgrowth is proosteum. Okay, then they have clitellum. Okay, the external segments are annuli. Then they have an anal segment or the anus, right? And this is Nereis. Okay, Nereis. Okay, in Nereis you can see the chitinous setae are absent. In case of earthworm, the setae are present, and parapodia, it is also a locomotory organ. Okay, now coming to next, this is the anatomy of earthworm. Okay, you can see the body wall is basically having the cuticle as the outermost layer. Okay, they have cuticle as the outermost layer. Non-cellular cuticle, most importantly, which is moist. Okay, then they have a single layered epidermis. Single layered epidermis. These are the parts of body wall. Okay, they have non-cellular cuticle as the outermost layer, which is moist. They have single layered epidermis, and they have circular and longitudinal muscles. Already I have explained. The muscles are smooth, which are highly contractile and help in locomotion. Muscles are smooth, which are highly contractile and helps in locomotion. Okay, now we will be discussing each and every detail of this earthworm in the coming videos, especially in the chapter structural organization of animals. Now, the most important thing which I have to tell you is about nephridia. I'll rub this. Now, when I talk about nephridia, it is the excretory organ. Nephridia, they are also segmentally arranged, coiled tubes, and these nephridia, they are ectodermal in origin. So first point about nephridia, they are ectodermal in origin. Okay, understood? These nephridias, they basically invaginate into the coelom, Okay, From they are ectodermal in origin. From ectoderm they invaginate into coelom. From ectoderm they invaginate into coelom. They help to communicate with the exterior, mean the outer environment, through laterally placed small apertures called nephridiopores. So with the help of nephridiopores, they helps to connect outside. Understood? Now nephridia, there are two types, protonephridia and metanephridia. Protonephridia, they are closed, and metanephridia, they are open. So first thing is that protonephridia, it is closed and metanephridia is open, right? Protonephridia, it basically terminate in the coelomic cavity as a blind tube. So protonephridia is a previous or a primitive form of the nephridia. The moment annelidans, they actually have just started to evolve. So protonephridia gives a sign of the evolution of the excretory system. The closed end of protonephridium is basically having some specialized excretory tube cells known as solenocytes. So it is closed, okay, and it is having some specialized excretory cells which are known as what? Tube cells or solenocytes, right? They are similar to flame cells of platyhelminthes. Protonephridian, as I just told you, that platyhelminthes, they have protonephridia, okay, so, or flame cells for the excretion, okay. So they basically, the flame cells of the platyhelminthes and the protonephridia, okay, protonephridia basically comes in the roundworms, flame cells in the flatworms. In case of roundworms, we got to see about rennet cell, which was H-shaped, okay. So basically that was actually form of protonephridia, but we cannot say it protonephridia because actually the nephridia comes to evolve under the section of annelidans, right? So protonephridia, it is closed, also known as tube cells. It is also having tube cells which are known as what? Solenocytes, and it resemble itself to the flame cells of platyhelminthes, right? So protonephridia is seen in the larva of the Polychaetae, okay. Polychaetae or Polychaetae is a class of phylum Annelida. We will further divide it into the different classes. So class Polychaetae is having the larva of the class Polychaetae, it is having protonephridia. And in some adults, polychaetes such as Phylodoic is also having protonephridia, okay. Vanadis is also having protonephridia, okay. So protonephridia is having is closed, basically it is terminating itself into the coelom, okay. It is having tube cells which are known as what? Solenocytes, and examples are the larva Polychaetae, Phylodoic and Vanadis. Metanephridians, they are open, and almost all adults annelidans, they are having metanephridia, okay. So the inner end of metanephridium is open into the coelom by a ciliated funnel known as nephrostome, okay. So here only you can see the nephrostome. This is the nephrostome, okay, nephrostome. Understood? So nephrostome is basically the opening of metanephridium into the coelom. It is a ciliated funnel. Nephrostome is a ciliated funnel. So nephrostome. So if a question comes, tube cells or solenocytes are found in Protonephridia. Nephrostome is found in Metanephridia. Example of Protonephridia, larval Polychaetae and Vanadis. Metanephridia, it is having nephrostome, which is a ciliated funnel which opens into the coelom. Okay. Example, all the annelidans, all the adult annelidans. Okay. All oligochaetae, leeches, all are having, means all polychaetes, they are having metanephridia. Right? Understood? Now, coming to next, classification. So the classification of phylum Annelida is done in this way. Purse of Hina are extinct. Purse of Hina are extinct means purse P of O, Hina H, A R A, and extinct E. So purse, we are going to take P Polychaetae, of oligochaetae, H Hiridinia, R A Annelida, sorry, and extinct E Echinoeuridia, okay, or Echiuridia, sorry, Echiuridia, okay. So polychaetae, they have well developed dash, AIMS 2011 with numerous setae, okay. So polychaetae, they are basically having a locomotory organ which is having numerous setae, okay, which is having numerous setae, okay. They have numerous setae. Setae are hair-like projections, okay. They have developed, we can write, sorry, they have developed, poly means many, numerous, chaetae means hair-like projections. So they have well developed locomotory hair-like organs with numerous setae. Development is indirect. Development is indirect, undergoing metamorphosis with a free swimming trochophore larva. Okay, development is indirect in case of polychaetae, and it shows the signs of metamorphosis with the free swimming trochophore larva. Free swimming trochophore larva. Then cephylation or cephalization. Cephalization means to the formation of cephalic index, or the formation of the head and neck region. So cephalization is basically present in Nereis, okay, it is present in polychaetes. Cephalization is the basically segmentation of the head part, okay. So it is present in polychaetes. Examples of polychaetae are Nereis, Aphrodite. Aphrodite is known as what? Sea mouse. Aphrodite is known as what? Sea mouse. Polynoe. Polynoe is known as what? Scale worm. Polynoe is known as what? Scale worm. Okay. Then this one is, yeah, Chaetopterus. Chaetopterus is a paddle worm. Chaetopterus is a paddle worm. Sabella, peacock worm. Serpula, fan worm. You just have to remember the common names, okay. Now the most important thing, actually we have to fill one word here. We have to actually fill one word here. These locomotory hair-like organs, well developed, they are known as what? Parapodia. So actually the term is parapodia, okay. So polychaetae, they have well developed parapodia with numerous setae. Numerous setae. The development is indirect, which is undergoing the metamorphosis, okay, having a signs of free swimming trochophore larva. Cephalization. Cephalization means the formation of head part, head and neck part, okay. Examples are Nereis, Aphrodite with a sea mouse, Polynoe, scale worm, Chaetopterus, paddle worm, Sabella, peacock worm, and Serpula, fan worm, okay. Now oligochaetae, oligo means less, few, okay. So few, oligo means few. Few septa, few septae, okay. No metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is absent, okay. So in oligochaetae, there are few Kete or septa, the metamorphosis is absent. Cephalization is also absent. Cephalization is also absent. Okay. Cephalization is also absent. Okay. This is actually, this is Setae. Setae. Setae and septa are two actually terms which give you a confusion. So Setae is for locomotion and septa is for division of body into compartments. Like this is the body is divided into different compartments with the help of septa. And Setae, they are hair-like projections for the locomotion. So this is the body, they have hair-like projections for the locomotion. So this is Setae. Okay. So Oligokete means they have few Setae, no metamorphosis. Cephalization is absent, means there is no signs of having the body segments differentiated. Okay. Example, Pheretima posthuma, that is earthworm. Pheretima posthuma, this is the earthworm. Lumbricus. Lumbricus is European worm. Lumbricus, European worm. Okay. European earthworm. And we have Megascolex. Megascolex is the common earthworm of South India. Common earthworm of South India. So Oligokete, they have few Setae for locomotion. They don't have any metamorphosis. Okay. Cephalization is absent in body is not divided into segments. Okay. It is having metameric segmentation, but head part is not distinct. Okay. Pheretima, scientific name of earthworm, Pheretima posthuma. Lumbricus, the European earthworm, and Megascolex, the earthworm of South India. Okay. Now Hirudinea. Hirudinea is an ectoparasite. It is not having any parapodia. It is not having any Setae. Okay. Cephalization is also absent. Okay. So Hirudinea, ectoparasite, no parapodia, no Setae, and cephalization is also absent. Now the most important thing is botryoidal tissue. Botryoidal tissue is basically present just beneath the muscular body wall, that is the circular and the longitudinal muscular layers. Just beneath it, they are having botryoidal tissue, which actually surrounds the alimentary canal. Okay. They have a coelomic cavity which is modified into circulatory system, and they have a hemocoelom. This hemocoelom is filled with hemocoelomic fluid. Most importantly, when Hirudinea sucks blood, so these organisms which actually are blood sucking, they are known as what? Sanguivores. Okay. Blood sucking organism, they are known as what? Sanguivores. Okay. Now they basically, Hirudinea, the leech, it basically secretes an anticoagulant which actually helps to take a fresh blood meal without any interruption, without any coagulation of blood. The pigment is hirudin. So hirudin is the anticoagulant substance which is secreted by Hirudinea. Okay. Example are Hirudineria and Hirudo. Okay. So Polykete, multiple Setae. Oligokete, few Setae. Hirudinea, neither Setae, no parapodia. Polykete, cephalization is present. Okay. Direct, or they show indirect development with the formation of chrocophore larva. Okay. Aphrodite, sea mouse, polynoe, scale worm, or Catopterus, paddle worm, Sabella, peacock worm, Serpula, fan worm. Okay. Pheretima posthuma, earthworm. Lumbricus, European earthworm, and the Megascolex, the common earthworm of South India. Now Archaeannelida, this is the fourth class. Archaeannelida, external segmentation is fainted, but internal segmentation is complete. External segmentation is fainted. When you have a look, it's look like, okay, there are no segments, so might be it is not an annelida. That's why the word archae means a primitive form. Okay. So Archaeannelida means the external segmentation is fainted, but internal segments are present. Example, Dinophyllus and Polygordius. Okay. Polygordius and Dinophyllus. The external segments are fainted, but internal segmentation is complete. Then the last class is Echiuridia, in which both dash and dash segmentation are absent. Means Both external as well as internal segmentations are absent. Okay. Everything which is given as a fill in the blank is basically a previous year question. Okay. CPMT, Combined Pre-Medical Entrance Examination of UP 2006. CETE are rare. Rarely they are having CETE, locomotor ordinals. Example, Bonilia and Echirus. Okay. So, Echiviridia, they have both external and internal segmentation absent. They don't have CETE. Okay. And example is Bonilia and Echirus. Okay. Echirus. Then, Neanthis is a scientific name for Nereis. Nereis is also known as clanworm or sandworm or ragworm. Okay. So, Nereis also known as clanworm, sandworm and ragworm. Okay. Clanworm, sandworm or ragworm. Right. They are unisexual, means they show sexual dimorphism. The reproductive phase is known as heteroneresis. Okay. Or nereis. Heteronereis. So, the reproductive phase which is found in nereis is heteronereis, as they are unisexual. Okay. They show sexual dimorphism. Okay. Examples, nereis itself, and it is also known as the clanworm or the ragworm or the sandworm. Why sandworm name is given? Because they actually are found along the seashore, and they basically live in the tubular furrows. They live in tubular furrows, that is why the name is given. Trochophore larva is present. Now you can see the interesting thing is unisexual, but it is showing the signs of indirect development. Parapodia is present. CETE was absent except the first segment and the last segment, means the anal segment or the anus. The parapodia are absent. Okay. AIPMT, All India Pre-Medical Test 2009. Okay. Except the first segment, periosteum. Okay. The parapodia are present and the anal segments. Except anal segment and the first segment, that is periosteum, parapodia is present. So, Neanthis, Nereis, it is also known as the clanworm or the sandworm or the ragworm. They are unisexual. They show signs of dimorphism. The reproductive phase is known as what? Heteroneresis. Lives in tubular furrows on the seashore. There is a presence of trochophore larva, means indirect development, and the parapodia is present except the first segment and the last segment. First segment is known as what? Periosteum. Okay. Hirudinaria granulosa. It is also known as the cattle leech. It is ectoparasite. The parasites are of two types, the ectoparasites and the endoparasites. Before coming to the phylum Annelida, we were on the phylum Platyhelminthes and the Escalmanthus. They were mostly endoparasites. Okay, they live inside the gut or the intestines. One of the most peculiar features of Hirudinaria granulosa is that the segments 9, 10 and 11, they actually are fused, and they develop a temporary clitellum. For breeding season, meaning for the reproduction. So, segments 9, 10 and 11, it is fused to make a temporary clitellum for breeding season, means it is fused. Okay. They have anterior and posterior suckers. The body is like this. They have anterior and posterior suckers. So, these suckers, they actually suck blood. Okay. Understood? And they have 5 pairs of eyes on the dorsal surface. So, these are the important points which actually you have to note it down when we are going to study about the phylum Annelida. Especially this part was the classification. The mnemonic is the birds of Hina are extinct, means Polychaetae, Oligochaetae, Hirudinea, Archaeannelida and Echidna. Then Polychaetae, multiple chaetae means multiple setae to walk, and they have well developed parapodia. Okay. The development is indirect, which undergoes metamorphosis to form trochophore larva. Cephalization means the head becomes distinct. Example, Nereis, Aphrodite, which is sea mouse, okay, Polynoe, the scale worm, Captorus, the spelling I always, it becomes very hard for me to pronounce, okay. Chetopterus, yeah, Chetopterus is the paddle worm, Sabella is peacock worm, and Serpula is fan worm, okay. So, sea mouse, Aphrodite, sea mouse, Aphrodite, Polynoe, scale worm, Polynoe, scale worm, or Chetopterus, paddle worm, Chetopterus, paddle worm, Polynoe, scale worm, Aphrodite, sea mouse, okay. It makes a sense, a rhythm, right? Sabella is a peacock worm and Serpula is a fan worm, okay. So I think everything is clear. It should be clear till yet, okay. So this is about the phylum Annelida. Everything I just noted down, okay. Please be sure that you should have watched my previous videos to make or to give you a better connect for the coming phylums as well, okay. So we will be meeting in the next class for the phylum Orthopoda, okay. I think okay, so we will be starting first with the need time only, okay. Till then, bye bye, take care everyone, stay safe, stay blessed, be at home, okay. Please watch the videos and please recommend the others to watch the videos as well, okay. Bye bye, take care.